The weather has been very changeable today. I thought it was a good time to video lighting wise, and then the sun suddenly got glaring bright. But hopefully it turns out okay. So I kind of have like a big garden reveal thing going on here. We have been did so much, and by we I mean Ian, in the garden, and I just can't wait to show you. So this, through the arbor, is our new setup over here. And speaking of the arbor, do you remember my clematis in the beginning of the season that I cut back to about 4 inches? This is it. Hold on, still going. Ooh. Look at that. Isn't it amazing? And it will be blooming very, very, very soon. There's buds up there. I'll be sure to show you once it does. This, there goes the sun. Maybe I can show you some things after all. This I am so pleased and excited with. So here are the steps down, and going through the arbor now. And that back wall there was stained. Elijah actually did that. And the trim was painted. They're working on painting the house. And this is the new raised bed in the middle. Look at it. And oh, here comes the sun again. And a pea gravel patio. A place to sit and walk. So lovely. Here. More stairs in and out. More stone beds. Another bed over here. It's all new since the last time I filmed out here. So excited. I love it. I love the way we now use this space. I love all of it. It's a dream. It's a dream come true. It really, truly is. Yeah, I love it so much. So there's steps in from there. This is from the other side of the arbor. The arbor I just came through. So there's steps in from there from the front yard. There's the steps I showed you to my side that go to the front door. And then there's another gate down here and steps down here. We're still working some things out, but it's my little, remember my climbing hydrangea? I tolerate it being ripped off the wall for the wall to be stained very well, and is perking right back up and getting to work, so pleased about that. Steps on down and out that way. Ever so attractive plastic riding toy. I have a few little rhododendrons in here, which will hopefully get to be medium-sized rhododendrons, not huge, but not stay tiny, and kind of fill up part of that back wall. And then the hydrangea will grow over it, and I still want to plant another bush back there, and I haven't decided if it's going to be a rhododendron or a mountain laurel. This side needs all sorts of work because this is the side that we were waiting. I was waiting for the wall, so I didn't mulch or anything this year, so it needs some work. It needs some moving around. It needs some mulching. It needs all sorts. But I will get to it now that I can, and I'm excited to have the chance. Oh. I was trying to get the butterfly, and the butterfly came and tried to get me. My phlox, my David phlox, this plant has a terrible case of powdery mildew. It doesn't look so bad right now, mostly because all of the leaves that were affected died underneath, so you don't really see them. But this is massive. This is taller than I am, wider than I can stretch my arms. Massive, just starting to bloom. It'll be covered in way more blooms soon. They only just started to open up yesterday. By the end of the week it'll be covered. This plant, I think I need to do something about. And I'm sad and overwhelmed a bit because I have no idea how I'm going to get this massive thing out of the ground, which is part of why it's kind of just stayed there. And I will sometimes take like divisions off the edges of it. But I think it needs to move. It's crowding everything else out and really struggling with powdery mildew right now. But I don't want to just get rid of it. I have had this plant for 20 years now. It has lived in 7 different houses, at 7 different houses in 3 different states. I have been moving it around. I planted it when I was pregnant with Ian, and neighbors in many places have divisions from it. Many of my friends have divisions from it. I can't see I don't want to just get rid of it, but I do think it needs to come out of this spot and be divided up. And next year I think I'm going to actually thin the stalks as they come up and give it a little more airflow. But I also have no idea where I'm going to put it. Butterflies love it. I don't know if you can see them. So again, this is David Phlox. Very long-lived and prolific in my garden, as you can surely see. And I have some of it that was divided over on this side. This is all from the same plant, and it hasn't come into bloom yet because it doesn't get quite as much light. It will in a few days. Like this is what that looked like 2 days ago. And it will, but this in a new position and decently cared for, it has a touch of powdery mildew. You can see, look, there's a touch of it down at the base, but that's it. And it's not bad. And I think it can be overcome. I just have to actually do it. Oh, this rose is blooming again. This is a new rose that I planted this year in my effort to plant hardy roses instead of the more tender English roses that I'm forever killing. Which I love love them, that's why I keep planting them, but then I kill them and then I'm sad. So that's no good. This was supposed to be a blush rose. It's not blush at all. It's cream. Got a yellowish center. It's still pretty, and I like the cream, and that's fine. But it's not what I thought I was planting. Kind of funny. Everything is sort of flopped in the garden right now. We had torrential downpours last night, and everything kind of just gave up. Fell down on the ground. Look at these poor foxgloves. Nope, done. I'm done. You can't ask any more of me. I stood up for a very long time, straight and tall. Now I'm done. On the ground. Same with my lovely lily, all hunched over. Poor thing. Poor little darling. And look what happened with the pollen all over its pretty white petals. Oh well. Smells marvelous. This is Casablanca, Oriental lily. It's my favorite. I only grow 2 lilies. I never used to care for lilies at all. Kind of had a thing about, Easter lilies and liking the scent of them around that time of year. I've always loved the scent, but kind of found them sort of garish and loud and things of that nature. I don't know, they just weren't my thing. And a couple of years ago I decided I really wanted the scent in my garden, so I got two kinds of lilies. I got these and eyeliner lilies, which you missed. And I have more of those up here, but I think I have pictures, so I'll include some pictures. And they bloom first, and then these bloom after. And I have a couple of these in the backyard as well, which I'm going to move up here. And for all of the plants that I fight with, for all of the plants that I kill, for all of the plants that get diseased and eaten and all of that, and that I just fight to grow, these are incredible. I put them in the ground. I neglect them completely. I do nothing more. I put them in the ground, the end, and they're just spectacular. They're just spectacular. This is nothing to the display that was a few days ago, or in the backyard. One of the ones in the backyard is massive and had like 10 blooms on it at once. And all of these that are done, the eyeliner lilies, have spread so incredibly. They've been in the ground for maybe 2 years. Each plant has 3, 4, 5 baby plants coming up and blooming now. It's really hard to argue with those results. So now I'm kind of a lily convert, though still mostly smitten with just the kind of the white forms that aren't too loud. This one's my favorite though because of the scent, and also I had a little bit of an experience with it where I was in a, this is going to sound, I don't know, but I was in a really bad place, and a really bad place at one point last year, and ended up just kind of on the ground in my garden, sort of distraught, I guess you could say. And these lilies, including this one, I moved this one this year, were blooming over me. And their scent was so amazing, and you'd kind of think that maybe because it was such a bad time, I would associate them with that and be repelled by them. But it felt like a comfort when I was finding no other comfort. And like they were almost watching over me. And the scent was just so beautiful and so poignant when I smell it again, that I think I may be a lily convert for life, and I kind of want to fill my whole garden with them. I definitely want more of the strong scented ones, and that may be one of my goals for next year. My little lily bit. Really, look at all these. Can you see all of the buds on that? It's going to be spectacular. I have a teeny tiny clematis down on the other side over here that's an entirely different variety, and when that comes in it'll be really interesting, I think, to see them together. But I may have overplanted this arbor. If everything that I have planted on this arbor actually lives to its full potential, I've definitely overplanted the arbor, but I figure the likelihood is that that is not actually going to happen in my garden, so I'm probably safe. We'll see. This dianthus just bloomed for the first time, and it was from a mix, so I had no idea what color it was going to be. I have them dotted around the garden. I wish I had more. They smell absolutely amazing. Incredible, but I'm just so in love with this color. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. I love it. I read somewhere that when Frances Hodgson Burnett was writing The Secret Garden, she had been going through a really terrible divorce and a really terrible time in her life. And she went to her home and kind of locked herself away in a walled garden where she planted her favorite rose in abundance. I don't know. I don't even remember what it was, like 50 of them or something like that, maybe even 100 or more, I don't know. And she would sit out there and write. And that's where she wrote The Secret Garden. I have no idea if that's true or not. I just know that I read that somewhere. And that's kind of how I felt about this space right now, that it's kind of this place I want to hide myself away in and soothe my soul and come back to life again. That's where I'm at here. I think I would live out here if I could.